Hello everyone. My name is Rashiditi Ghosh. I am assistant editor of the magazine called The Banking and Finance Post. It's a publication by Elets Technomedia, India's biggest B2B multimedia platform. And I'm here to welcome you all to the brand new episode of Elets Innovation Talk. Thomas Alva Edison once said this that there's a way to do it better, find it. That means if you have to do anything better, you will have to find a way to do it. And that is what innovation is all about. With this, I would like to start today's episode. Prior to that, I would like to brief you all about Let's Innovation Talk. It's an initiative by Let's Technomedia, which highlights innovative measures by leaders across the industry who make lives better through their initiatives. This series is helping us highlight a lot of important steps taken by leaders to ensure business continuity and resilience amid the uncertain times. As we all know, we are in between COVID 19, which is continuing to bring a lot of challenges to all our lives, and we all are striving to do better by motivating each other. So, today, in this episode of Let's Innovation Talk, we have with us Mr. Varun Babbar. Mr. Babbar is Managing Director for Qlik India. He's responsible for spearheading Qlik's India operations in the region, empowering customers in India and South Asia to lead their businesses with data. He's a technical person, and he started his career with Qlik almost a decade ago. So we welcome Mr. Varun today to Let's Innovation Talk. Welcome, Mr. Babbar. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Rashi. I'm glad to be here.
All right. So with this, let's start with our conversation, and which is going to be very interesting because we'll be talking a lot about data, innovations, technology, which is a very significant part of all our lives today. As we all know that due to COVID and maybe way beyond, way before COVID, organizations around the world, including India, were they have started using data, and today that has gone up significantly to make better decisions and make better use of their resources. So today, I want to know from you, Mr. Babbar, that when you talk about the data literate world, which is Qlik's vision, how do you define it? How do you explain its significance today amid the pandemic?
Okay. So, Rashi, a few years back, we did a survey with Accenture. We called it Human Impact of Data Literacy. And as part of this survey, we interviewed people across the world to find out that, okay, how comfortable they feel with data. When we talk about data literacy, it is like how comfortable someone feels while reading the data, writing the data, understanding the data, do more from the data, take decisions out of the data. So as few of the outputs of that survey was that and what stood out is India and Indian population, the sample population that we interviewed, almost 46% of the people felt that they are data literate, and this was highest among the world. And But that said, we also found an input that around 83% of the people felt that they felt underwhelmed or confused when they work with data, and and almost 53% felt that if they are trained and they do more data literacy trainings, they can do their jobs better. So these are some of the outputs that we got, that people feel that they can do their jobs better if they can work with the data better. And that's what our definition of data literacy is, that can we enable the people in the organization to get more out of the data assets that the organizations are creating. Almost every transaction, every interaction that the organization is doing with the environment is creating a lot of data. How every person in the organization is going to leverage this data to take better decision is going to create a competitive differentiator for these organizations. And that's our vision, that is what we want to create, that can we allow every person in the organization to leverage the data in whatever way they want to take better decisions out of it.
How wonderful is that? It's like empowering yourself and empowering others with the resources and offerings you have. Wonderful. So with this, let's move on. We all have heard about the recent acquisition of Nodegraph. So how do you think this acquisition of Nodegraph tech is an advantage for Qlik and its customers who are using it?
Okay. I'll again go back to the same survey, the human impact of data literacy. One of the inputs that we got out of that survey is that almost 4 out of 5 people feel they are not able to trust the data. They feel that they are still taking decisions based on their gut, based on their experience, rather than referring to the data assets and then taking the decision. So that trust factor is missing. And while we move the data from one source to the end user analytics system, a lot of transformations, etc., happen to the data, right? If a business user does not have visibility to those transformations in a way which he understands, then he will definitely not have that trust. And that is where Nodegraph adds a lot of value. Nodegraph is a customizable metadata management solution which Qlik acquired in August 2021, last month only. So the idea of Nodegraph is to provide deeper visibility into the life cycle of data, thereby increasing confidence within the users that, okay, yes, this data can be trusted. So by providing capabilities like data governance, data lineage, giving capabilities around whether, irrespective of whichever source or end user analytic systems you're using, it gives you complete visibility about what you're doing with the data. And that's what we wanted to um, provide to our customers, so that they can trust their data more, so that they can use their data more to make a more data literate world.
So that's a clever choice because we all know we are online, we're using data, but little bit of doubt is there in everybody's mind that can we trust it. So that's the transparency factor. It actually acts as a significant point, and it motivates others to go forward. So let's move on with this. The next question, it would be regarding data itself because this conversation started and it will, encircle around data. So we all know how COVID-19 has accelerated the need for real-time data, and we are moving from traditional, BI, which is designed to inform but not necessarily compel action, to active intelligence. So the next question is, in your view, how is active intelligence helping businesses in transforming data?
See, active intelligence has a very strong role to play when we talk about getting more output out of the data that you have. So, active intelligence is all about getting the real time data to the real users at the real place, in the way they want, in the format they want. Gone are the days when people used to say that, okay, I will go to a dashboard and find out my report or do some analysis and then take some actions based on what I see there. People want their analytics to be embedded. They want that embedded analytics to be real time fed with the data with their transactional systems. They want it on mobile devices, even on the edge devices now. So a lot of transformations are happening in the technology front, in all those aspects. So active intelligence is all about giving that real time data in the hand of users so that they can take actions. So that's another key aspect of data analytics, that action was always separate from insights. So how we can integrate the actions with the insight and probably automate this whole process is also going to derive a lot of value. That's what active intelligence is all about. And we have seen that being used at some of our customers. Just to give you an example, we work with National Stock Exchange of India, and you know that they work on daily trading. So real time, how much real time is relevant for them? So they have to do day to day surveillance. They have to do some reports which are like pan anomaly reports based on the transactions which are happening. They have to do comparison between some 1200 scripts with the NSE index to see real time how things are happening. So they leverage our data integration as well as data analytics platform, where they in real time replicate their source systems into an end user analytics system so that they can derive more insights in a more near real time environment. So we have seen a lot of customers leveraging and asking for real time data now, and that's what driving the big transformations in the data space.
Uh, First of all, hats off if you're working with NSC, because that's a lot of data and that's a lot of responsibility to take care of. And you're doing a wonderful job, because I was not really aware, but you just explained it very well to us. So let's move ahead with this. The next question would be around business intelligence trends. Everybody is talking about it, that there are a lot of trends that can help enterprises during COVID, beyond COVID, and especially in a data-driven decision model. So, how are business intelligence trends, in your view, helping enterprises in transforming a data-driven decision model? And what is your take on explainable BI?
Okay. So, see, when we talk about trends, there are few things which are actually changing in a big way. One is how people want to use the data. Right. If I go back a decade, people were happy accessing the static reports and seeing how my business is doing. Then they wanted to do more drill down on the data to understand why my business is doing in this way. Now they want to do that. Okay, what action I can do based on that? What are the anomalies? Can you integrate my system with more artificial intelligence system so that you can derive some actions which are automated in nature? People want to chat with the data. They like on WhatsApp all day. They want similar kind of experience on analytics also. They want to collaborate when they are analyzing. So like we are having, most likely, Rashi, in any other during any other times we would have having this session face to face, but now because of COVID we are doing it over this platform, right? In the same way, people, when they're analyzing, they want to collaborate more. So all these add-on capabilities is something the user is asking for, and that is where we see and that's where we are investing by adding all these capabilities to our platform. That's one part of it. Second thing is around data. As I said, in data side of the thing, the trust of the data, the governance of the data, the real time nature of the data, movement of data to the cloud are some of the trends which are very relevant. People are talking about moving most of the data to their clouds in a more real time environment, and also trust that data so that they can take better decisions out of it. So these are the key trends that we see in data and analytics space. The other trend we talked about when you asked me about the consumerization of data, that we are moving from one to many kind of an environment where an IT team was creating reports for or dashboards for the management of the organization, towards a many to many relationship where everyone is creating analytics for everyone and collaborating with their data. So there's a lot of consumerization of data that is happening. And lastly, the computing side of the things, the way we moved from 32-bit to 64-bit to containers to cloud systems, and now talking about edge devices. I think this is enabling the whole ecosystem with respect to how to get streaming data in a more real-time environment so that we can take more real-time operational decisions also. So these are the key trends which are enabling the organizations to get most out of the data that they are creating within their transactional as well as other systems. Uh, but then once you have done all these things, that factor still remains, right? Whether I can trust that data. I think that is where explainable BI has a big role to play. That whatever we are doing in these systems, can we explain it to the user that it's that this is what is being done in a language that he understands, right? He does not understand complicated technical languages. If a salesperson is using data, he needs to understand in his language that, okay, what did you do to this data to give me that, okay, my KPI is looking like this. So that's a very important part where explainable BI and AI has and a strong role to play. Can we build the system which people can trust? And that's where we are seeing a lot of investments being happening. You talked about Nodegraph. Nodegraph is our step in that direction only. Can we explain to the users that, okay, what is the data lineage, what is the how the data life cycle happened till the data reached you for analytics? So this is how people are using this explainable BI and as well as explainable AI these days.
Thank you for this explanation, and we all know we are all upgrading, but still that mentality in each one of us, that it has to be near human experience, to speak to. Yes, so that is what where innovation works. So with this, the most important question, why am I saying this? Because this would be about the innovations that you're planning for the remaining 2021 and way ahead. So how are you planning your growth? What are your growth plans, innovation plans for 2021? Being a part of Qlik, and being a part of such a respected and technology driven organization.
So, so when we talk about the key drivers for the success around the analytics domain, I would say there are four key factors which are very relevant in these times. One is the real time nature of the data. Uh, how we can get that data in the hands of the customer and how quickly we can do that. We have Indian Oil as a customer which have kind of near time integrated their retail outlets, the 28,000 petrol pumps with an analytics system so that they can see the price moderation as well as wet stock analysis on top of that data on a more real time basis, right? So that's very important, that how we can get the real time data in front of their customers so that they can get maximum out of it. Second thing is, we have seen there's a lot of analytics modernization that is happening. So when I say analytics modernization, it's not that organizations in India have not invested in BI or AI technologies in past. I think for last 10, 15 years, people have been investing and getting benefits out of these technologies. But now we are seeing a lot of trend where people are moving from first generation solutions towards a more third generation kind of a solution, where people are asking for chatbots integrated with their solution. They're asking for self-service driven alerts. They're asking for collaboration within the system, capability to comment, share, do whatever you do on social media with those system. Capability to have data catalogs is something which is very relevant now. Data catalog is like any shopping cart. So you go to Amazon and you shop for anything that you want to buy. In the same way, people are creating data catalogs for their users in the organization, so they can just shop for the data and then build analytics on top of it, rather than providing them the end dashboard. Now users are enabled to give more catalogs and govern data to those users. That so a lot of organizations are moving towards all these modern capabilities. So a lot of work around analytics modernizations is happening. Even in Qlik, we had customers who started journey in 2012 with Qlik View as a product, which was our flagship product at that point of time. Companies like HDFC Life, they started their journey somewhere around 2011-12. That's when we started our operations in India. And they're now almost their 400 branches plus 18,000 plus customer users. Almost 80% of the organizations use Qlik to do analytics. And as we have grown our ecosystem, as we've come up with new products, new capabilities, HDFC Life has grown in that journey. They started with ClickView, then they moved to our self-service mobile analytics platform called ClickSense. Then they added chat services on top of it. They're talking about catalog. So these organizations are investing in modernizing their complete ecosystem that is there. So that's the second key trend that I see. Third, we already talked about active intelligence. It is definitely not about data analytics and data intelligence separately. It is about how we can create a data pipeline so that we can give real time data to all the users in a place where they want, rather than asking them to go to a dashboard and find their analytics. Can we embed analytics within their system? So that's the third trend that we see, which is a big driver for us. Lastly, where we started this discussion, data literacy. For every analytics project or an initiative to be successful, it is very important to take a tripod approach. So we need to build a tripod to have a stable initiative there. Two ends of tripod are data analytics and data integration, which are the technologies that you choose to drive these projects. But the third end is the change management initiative of your people. How are you enabling your people? How are you changing and upskilling your people to leverage these two technologies is going to define whether you get right value out of these systems or not. So a lot of organizations are actually driving a lot of initiatives which are in the domain of data literacy and get creating a more data literate world. So all these three things combined is going to define that how successful your journey is going to be in analytics.
Wonderful. It's, data is a world in itself. The way you explained it, yes, and we expect it's going to expand and people are going to explore the best part of it. And
In fact, I was in one of the forums. Sorry to interrupt you, Rashi. And
no, that's
people
that's
always
fine.
say
That's fine.
data is the new oil, right? People always say data is the new oil. In that forum, there was I don't recall the person, but he said that data is the new uranium. That it can actually go wrong also. That is why you need to build it in a way that it is governed, and that is why data integration plays a very strong role. While you give all the flexibility to the users, but you govern it in the right way so that the right data is given to the right person. There are different perspectives to how people are using data these days. And
So data is the new oil. Experts across the world have been suggesting this. There's a very big responsibility associated with data and the management and taking it to people's life so that they can maintain continuity. And amid a pandemic, it is very important for motivating each one of us. Data is actually significant. So thank you so much for sharing your story with us, sharing what Qlik is doing, and that actually enlightened us, and I believe will enlighten all our viewers who are watching it. I believe that experts like you should always come up and share your part of story to others, so that which is something very important today. We all need someone to let us tell us that we can overcome this, and there's a lot of hope opportunities still amid this uncertain time. So thank you so much, Mr. Babbar, for joining us today at the Let's Innovation Talk. And I believe next time when we meet, we will talk more about innovations, and more we will learn more about what you are doing to keep make lives better. And to all our viewers, thank you so much for watching us today. And next time when we meet on Elets Innovation Talk, we'll have someone like as bright as Mr. Babbar sharing their part of story. Thank you so much for joining us today. Take care, bye bye, and have a wonderful day.